Spotty.tv.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the men's final here. The last game for the Victorian Ultimate Championships of 2022, held in the Victorian country city of Bendigo. My name is Daniel Clinton. I will be your commentator for this game. I'm looking forward to it. We have Ellipsis, based out of Melbourne, playing against the Melbourne Juggernaut, the Heads of State Ultimate Club. Over the course of the day, the conditions have continued to deteriorate. The wind now fairly gusty indeed. According to the weather app, we've got gusts of 24 kilometres an hour. Temperatures up, nearly cracking the 30 mark. It's at 29 currently. Don't imagine it's going to get too hot, or it's 2 o'clock local time, so the heat of the day, and that's a big rip by Andrews to Bignal. Katharina in the middle of the field to start off the Juggernaut offense. Katharina with a high stall to Della, sporting the speed dealers. Jacobs, Della is going to walk into that flick. It's covered well by Copeland. Jacobs. Katharina. Juggernaut away now. Bach. Katharina. Lucien. Della engages the reset. He's on the low side for the wind, and he's just going to put it into the end zone. A speculator. McDonald comes. The bid, and it's a turn. Andrews and McDonald getting into it there. There is a foul. Well, this is for the title, so if there is a time to bring out your best play, it's going to be now. I don't think that Tom Della would be too impressed with the choice to throw that, but he was kind of stuck. The wind is gusting pretty much directly into our face as we look in that direction. And yeah, it will be an uncontested foul, so Lachlan McDonald will throw the goal. And the waggle. You know you're playing Hoss. Lucien Lou. He was a handful yesterday when we covered him. And this time, he's a handful again. The cut on to Let just reacts too slowly, and McDonald with a nice throw out into the open space. Well, that's the first point. Juggernaut, a little bit streaky. Tom Della getting bailed out by a Lachlan McDonald foul call. And so it'll be the Ellipsis offense. It'll be their turn for the game. We're talking about predictions and who's going to win. Considering Ellipsis' short line, their lack of personnel this weekend, I thought that there was a fairly good chance that Juggernaut might win this match. And if I was a better man and if I had money, that's where it would be placed.
Yeah, Juggernaut!
Loco Wise. So Paul. A looping, arcing outside in. Set will pick it up to Let. Matthews Hunter all the way out here to Ollie Lofton. Lofton a little bit stuck here, is going to go through the Juggernaut zone. and get Ellipsis back to the other side of the field. Andrews working inside the cup. Tom Tillett gets it back from Loughnan. Tillett seemingly feeling the urgency. And Bissett gets it back to Loughnan, who shoots it across to Paulet. Matthews Hunter. It's tough going out there for Ellipsis. Having to work in what could only be described as gusty conditions. And Loughnan. Matthews Hunter on this near sideline. Tillett. There we go. We'll see what, as Ellipsis, when they break that containment and they're able to get the disc around the edge or through the wall that has been created by Juggernaut, they have a lot more success. When it's static like this, it's hard going. Nice by Tillett to Andrews and then to Paulet. Loughnan, who's decided to go down the field. Wind beginning to really gust and increase. Matthews Hunter. Bissett. There's Paulet. And the flip to Andrews for the score. Upwind they go. Ellipsis hold, 1-1. Juggernaut certainly made them earn it. This game is going to take on an entirely unknown dimension all weekend. It's been fabulous weather here. Glorious conditions in Bendigo. And it seems like that is changing. Of course, the day the wind has gradually been increasing, and now it's really going to be a factor this game. As looks like I'm going to be joined by the afternoon shift. I welcome to the commentary, Andy Maroney.
Good afternoon, Dan. How are you?
You know how I know that you work in an office in Melbourne?
Why?
You just lobbed in, 10 minutes late. You got your coffee and...
Well, I was a bit torn, to be honest. I'm obviously part of Jugger, so I wasn't sure if I should be an effective sideline or come and hang out with you. So might do a little bit of both. It depends how the game goes.
Okay. So if it's going poorly, you might leave us.
Yeah. If we get 3 up, I'm happy to hang out and have a good time. But if it gets close, I'll come and get on the sideline and be loud and a bit of a pest for people like Cupcake and Powley.
Andy Maroney being a pest.
Head to state bringing it in. Bar to Cullen, back to Bar. Bar to Lucien. Lucien had a great tournament actually this weekend. He's played really well. To Tony Castrogano. Apparently I'm saying his name wrong. Back to Lush. To Sam Jacobs, who goes and sticks one long. Healy chasing Tom and goes over both. Macca has a bid, can't reel it in. So Ellipsis is going to have a look at their offense. An opportunity for the first break of the game. Timothy is walking towards the disc. Sammy's going to mark him. Looks like a pretty straight up mark. And one's going out the back. Timocles fakes. At least instead comes under. Good cut from Healy. Gets a gainer under. Macca guarding him. And a shot into the end zone is a goal. That's the first break of the game.
He's been called out.
Out of bounds. Turnover.
Oh. Juggernaut
That's a let
catching
off.
A little bit of a break.
It's a let off because there were loose players, had flows, so let's see if they can atone for it. Seb Bar bringing it in from the cone. One sits up a little bit. Wind making that disc bobble early. Sam Jacobs. This one sits in Tom's sweet spot. He goes and puts one to Lucien. Hard disc to catch and gets away from him. And look at that disc go. That is out of there. That is already 2 fields over.
And I'm not sure what Lyon's doing.
Still
he turns
going.
around immediately and gestures that I got a piece of it. It didn't look like it.
Oh no, that's his thing.
That's his thing.
Oh, yeah. Him and the other fella, Tom Bissett, don't get a whole heap of Ds, but they do, because if their player who they're marking clean drops it, there's a touch. And so that's why they make that little fingertip gesture, just to let them know. Inferred pressure and inferred block. Typically, he's nice centering first disc. And now Pete Ely. Pete Ely looks inside, instead throws flat backhand to Cam Lane. Really pushing it down the sideline. This one looks a bit more in. No, Lucien. So once again, Heads of State probably getting a little bit lucky by the fact that Ellipsis pushing it down one sideline rather than using the width of the field.
But even though Juggernaut are getting these options and these opportunities, they've still got a long way to go.
Jacobs.
Oh, McDonald is very free.
And Carlton lets one, and this is free, and it's flat, and it's a goal!
Well, Peter Ely has been sent to the concession stand for a hot dog. He's been sold a bill of goods by McDonald and absolutely lit him up.
And there's history there, do you know that? There's history there, as in good history. They're best mates, but for some reason, Lachlan McDonald elects to go. I mean, he's an elite player, but he goes next level when marking Pete. Pete has had some really tough days. I mean, everyone's going to have a tough day marking Macca, but there have been a couple of games where Pete's been, it's been pretty hard done by. Macca turns to elects to just turn it on, something fierce.
It's always been great to watch the best players.
It's fantastic.
Men like Lachlan McDonald and also Tom Toulette, who seem to find just something else.
Yep.
And you think they're good, and then the next minute they turn it on even more.
So after a few jitters from Heads of State's offense, they managed to put it in. Remains on serve. And positive signs for Ellipsis, getting the disc twice, I think, in that point.
Yeah, a little bit cleaner on offense, and Ellipsis would be in front right now. But it wasn't to be. And very much as is the case in Ultimate. On day two, it's comes also about the decisions and how you deal with fatigue and can you maintain that concentration.
And here's your man, Toulette. Open flick. Now to Bissett, Tom Bissett. Bobo. Now Launen. Really, again, sideline is their friend, apparently. Tom Bissett now being forced to throw upfield, trying to get the
he's in trouble.
And that's got stall 9 written all over it, but it works. And Toulette, safe pair of hands. Toulette loading up. Again goes to Gaz. This time back to Tom nice and early in the count. Heads of State really aggressive, forcing all upfield. High release.
Ellipsis, they don't seem to really have much of a plan here.
Interesting pressure. And now see if they can get out. Launen to Palais. And one goes up high, but I think that'll be out of bounds from Palais.
Yeah, just that the number of passes as it increases, you know, as a thrower and you're going nowhere, there is a mental aspect where you've got to understand that this is going to be how it is.
Now Heads of State with an opportunity to put a break in. Locko looking break side, ends up hitting break side. Back to Locko. Locko again looks break. It's close. Right at the end zone line. And as you say, dropped. And as you say, Dan, I mean, that's a perfect example. Day two, decision making and patience become even more important. So a let off now for Ellipsis early on as Tom Bissett has it. Open throw, and one's going long, Loudon's going long. Tullett sees it, doesn't like it. Instead, moves across. Palais. Very close to the line. Loudon has a look upfield, doesn't like it. Back to Palais.
And the conditions at the moment are just allowing Lachlan Wise to play completely downhill.
Yeah.
Really just not respecting much that is behind him. because he knows that the wind should help him, but Ellipsis find a way.
2-all, positive signs for both teams so far. Ellipsis managed to get the disc back after Ben Powley's throw. You can throw that when you're playing. He's a big disc golfer now. You can throw that rubbish in disc golf. You can't throw it in ultimate. And be better for it. And unfortunately, yeah, just behind.
I have to wonder if that's going to be a big moment in this game, because now, even though Juggernaut are on offense, they've got to go upwind, and a potential break here could have ramifications.
Yep.
They had the opportunity to break Ellipsis.
Keep right there.
Wait, boys, that's unreal, yeah?
With a lot of time to play and a lot left in this this game, this final.
So we've seen some zone defense from Juggernaut. It looks like Ellipsis are opting for match. Maybe running some switches, but it'll be interesting. Juggernaut have already shown that they're willing to let it go. They've sent a few deep already.
Well, it's that approach and scheme, right? Like with match, you're often looking for a forced error. With zone, it's often an unforced error. Tom Select is going to pull that one out by the looks.
It is a brick, which is a bit of a, I mean, let's see what Juggernaut can do with it, but that's a bit of a let-off. I mean, especially what we saw in the previous point with
It's
Juggernaut.
A big advantage.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Look at that last point. Juggernaut had some real pressure down in that back corner.
And being able to just bring it 1/3 the way up and play from the middle.
Yep, and they got that turn. I mean, we were talking about Powley's turn. That wasn't just an execution error. That was a result of probably feeling a bit of pressure of 10, 15 throws in a 15-metre space. So Bar brings it in, goes to Dan Cullen. Dan Cullen under, nice D coming through. I think that's Josh Howard getting the run through on the Jugger player. Chris Waller with the disc, looking inside, and another couple of turns. So the defense is working, but unfortunately neither team able to convert just yet, as we see Dan Cullen look to McDonald. McDonald engages dump. Great bid from Timocles, and it does enough. They trip over each other.
Well, he stepped in the disc.
Was it the disc?
He stepped in the disc,
Yeah,
and there's no spikes on the top of a disc, so over he went.
So
Just trying to move quickly and get down the field, Copeland.
Tullett engages Waller. Waller's out, and now a timeout. Timeout called. They're going to have a chat around what it's coming in on. As we have a look, yeah, Josh Howard getting half a look at that disc, and that was all he needed.
So which team is this song from?
This is the Melbourne Football Club, reigning premiers.
You mentioned a favourite of the Heads of State Club.
This is probably as close as we get to a team song. Yeah. I'm unfamiliar with the tune coming out of Ellipsis though.
Well, it sounds like they are too. It's possibly the first time they've sung it.
Working on it, yeah.
Some of the workshopping maybe. To let him call a timeout midpoint. What's your philosophy on midpoint timeouts, Moroni?
If your offense is broken down, go for it. If you are...
Because there are some people that are dead set against midpoint timeouts.
Yeah. I think if your offense is broken down, particularly more senior players that go, you know what, we are... The percentage of a turnover, the chance is just too high. Great. However, the one that kills me is the one where you've just caught the long disc, caught the huck, and people go, oh, I don't know what to do, oh, there's a count. Rather than just dumping and resetting, they call a timeout, there's an old adage to say, you know, great, put 7 more defenders in the box, and that's exactly what that kind of timeout does. So not a fan of that one, but I think with Tom, and you also got to like assess the tempo of the game, right? We've seen multiple turnovers, probably every point, and so Tom's taken it upon himself and going, right, I want to calm our offense down. I want to have a think about it, have a chat and convert. That's not too bad, unless he turns this one, and then I'll deny saying any of that. As we see it go up, Castigliano back. Oh, we called it! I told you, midpoint timeouts, awful idea. Never call them.
All right, you heard it here from Andy Maroney.
Oh, an excellent bid.
Yeah, Tom Tillett getting horizontal.
Cuppers is coming to play. Sammy. And now Sammy looks. Aussie on Tommy. Oh, they're going to have to go again.
Osmond, the Quidditch
eventually
world
got a
champion.
Had to have a couple goes at it. Let's see. Yeah, it was still in Tony in amongst it. Probably not great odds on Tony in that one. Tony's good at a lot of things. It's probably not his strong suit.
Speaking about going to another level, Tom Tillett with a big layout.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I saw Tom Tillett at full stretch like that.
Yeah, and well done from Lucien to actually hold it, because we saw another good bid from Timocles that he didn't get it, but he did enough. So Tillett now with the disc. Goes to Timocles. Aussie comes over, open, under, can't get it. Tom. And now a turnover from Ellipsis. Seb looking to pick it up quickly, but there is a foul call.
Yeah, Sam Jacobs very quickly to demonstrate there's a foul call before Bach was able to pick it up and try and throw the goal.
Uncontested. So Timocles with it backfield. Looks break instead. Opposite go to Tom. One's going deep. Tom's got one deep and he goes and he likes it and he sends it. Nice grab. They've got the flow now. And Heads of State able to set. Timocles gets one up the line to Tillett. Tommy open, flick under, and that's now 3-2. And that's a break. That's a break, isn't it?
It is a break. The back of some excellent play by Tom Tillett and company. Give him that many looks at the end zone and he will throw one.
Yeah.
It was really the huck, though, that broke the field open over the top to Prendergast. And then he caps his own move, throwing the assist.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, though. Juggernaut, they have an opportunity now to go downwind, kind of.
Yeah,
it's a swirling breeze out there.
No, I agree. I think given what we've seen in both end zones, you're probably looking at our left of screen is probably the more favourable one. An excellent grab from McDonald. Bit of contact, but obviously all accidental. Really nice grab.
Yeah.
And
McDonald spent a bit of time playing Australian rules football. That wouldn't have phased him at one bit.
No. Nice up the line from Tom. So I think the really interesting thing for this point, Dan, is Heads of State still sending their O-line out there, and it was a longer point, so positive to see that the team back in the offense in, especially as you say, downwind or more favourable to the left of screen.
There's some rotations. We see Josh Phillip and Tony Castigliano taking the line.
(3-2). Ellipsis with the advantage, one break up, early days. And the pool's gone up, and that might be a brick as well. I think it will be. It's going to be close. Brick just.
On the line is out in ultimate, and
I reckon that was pretty much bang on the line. I think you're spot on.
Here we go,
well, Sebastian Barr walks to the brick mark, as he's done thousands of times in his career.
Jacobs. So this is a junk look. Very loose kind of containing jump rather than pressure. It's enabling TCAS to get busy. Over to Tommy Della. Back to TCAS. Things start to tighten up now, and it looks like they have transitioned out. High disc goes up to McDonald, who snags it. Back to Castrogano. Bit of give and go action. Right on the end zone line, and McDonald and Hoss are able to hold after getting broken. It's 3-3, but Ellipsis with the advantage with a half a break.
Yeah, Tony Castrogano just able to manipulate the mark there and find the opening to throw the goal. McDonald in the middle of the field. So watch here. Castrogano fakes the inside, just gets the mark to jump out of the way for him, opening up that lane to complete an easy backhand. So 3-3. Juggernaut down the break. Now on defense going downwind. I need to get your thoughts on the Tom Della speed dealers.
They're interesting, aren't they? The sunglasses from a very unique man.
They're fast. They look like they add, you know, kilometres to your top speed.
Yes, well, Tommy is an avid cyclist. Actually, he does competitive cycling.
So they're probably low drag speed dealers.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Yes, mildly offensive, but I've seen worse pairs of shades. They're not like the full-blown pit vipers. He could actually probably try and say, oh, these are cycling glasses. But I think he's just an interesting unit in general. I think the glasses are made more interesting because you know he's a bit of a different operator.
Character.
Oh, yeah. All right. Dan, I'll leave this to you. He'll be back in 1 point.
All right. And Moroni feels the need to go and get involved. Clearly a big moment in the game then. And Caleb Liu will throw it back to Lachlan Wise, who threatens a bullet to Declan Frey. Well, that's one way to turn things around. 4 points for Melbourne Juggernaut. They go back into the lead. Lachlan Wise just, it's a very hard throw to complete in conditions like this. Inside out, forehand. Low, flat and hard. See if we can go back to the turnover. Oh, and it's just a missed throw by Bissett. It happened so fast that I had completely missed it. Lachlan Wise again. That distinctive outside in that he tends to go with. Daly gets nervous underneath it and lets it fall. It's covered well. The first pass is cut off. Matthews Hunter comes all the way over to Lofton. Andrews decides to stay in the pocket and take it from Lofton. Matthews Hunter trying to pivot through the wall. Lofton will get fouled. I think good play by all involved there. Williams understanding that he needed to stop that and was unwilling to yield the space. Andrews, Lofton. Andrews. Aggressive zone again. And Ellipsis still just deciding to almost beat their heads against the wall. Not try something else, just continue to chip away. Staying on this near sideline. Ely gets involved, and now Andrews again. Toulet dribbling with Andrews. Out to Matthews Hunter. Oh, and a block by Della. The sunglasses comment has potentially lit a fire under Tom Della, who comes up with a massive play. Oh, that's some good stuff. So, Wise, Della. Back to Wilson. Wise. Play will return after the pick call in the stack.
Communication, guys. I learned all my hands.
Go back, actually, 2 throws.
Control, Jakey, control it!
So Williams again. He's looking. There's 2 resets. Wilson eventually gets it. Wise, it bounces off his head, and he catches it anyway. He was nearly wearing the disc as a hat. Wise and Williams combining. The lefty from Wise just takes a dive into the ground. On that, it's going to be a little bit disappointing, a little bit frustrating for Juggernaut. Off the back of an excellent defensive play. Don't figure that Ellipsis will give it back to you many times. Ely quickly to Daly, who goes over Lachlan Wise to level it up at 4 apiece. Oh, what could have been though? He could have been 5-3 here. Well, Andy, I need to give your thoughts on that turnover after Della gets the block. Juggernaut, go ahead and give it back to them.
I mean, I think it's just going to be a story of this game. Both teams getting playing some fantastic D, getting some excellent looks, but unable to convert it. So it's entertaining.
If nothing else, the drama.
The drama, controversial, well, not controversial, but interesting turns, great Ds. It's a good game of frizz. That's what we want in the final. That's obviously what both of these teams would like in heading into internationals. This is as good as your preparation can get.
The way to happiness. Follow it to the end, and it will repay you kindly.
That is not some mad vagabond out the front of a Safeway. That's Declan Frey that you might hear. Apologies in advance
prophet.
if we pick up anything.
The prophet
yes,
of heads of state.
Talking about the system. You'll hear a lot of that this season about Juggernaut talking about the system. No idea what the system actually is, but it would be the first time.
It's typical heads of state tongue-in-cheek
garbage,
humour.
And that's another one out the back, so I wonder if it's worth both teams, particularly downwind, thinking about rollers. You know, put something in with a bit more heat, put some pressure on the handlers to either catch blades that are coming in quick or force it to go at the back, so you're setting up.
We saw last point, the Lachlan Wise pull made Daly very, very nervous underneath. It had a little bit more heat, a little bit more outside in. Came down with a bit of
I wouldn't be
bit of English.
Yeah, I would not be sitting on them.
And you could almost see the thought go through Daly's head where it was like, I can catch this. Actually, that's probably not a good idea. I won't catch this.
And that's the only thing you don't want as a handler, as a receiver, being in 2 minds. If you see a big disc come up, Cullen has to watch it all the way into his hands. You're Clinton, he's Cullen. And the lefty gets around to Tom Della.
Well, if you're mistaking Cullen for me, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it's a lovely. Lucien looks to Della, back to Lou.
And Ellipsis taking a page out of the Juggernaut playbook, going with their own zone look. This one a little bit looser than the straight up 1-3-2-1. All bars.
You don't see that much. You don't see that much at all. Gets the power position, had the good look, had a good window to shoot into. Even he is human, Dan.
Yep. And throws like that are often determined by millimetres. You know, too much angle of attack, and that goes straight up in the air. Not enough, and well, that happens. Oh, Howard is in space. He's going to have to go.
Oh. A nice bid, and Dello's going to look to move it quick. Nice bid from Howard.
Howard's looked good today. I think there's something special there, maybe.
Yeah, agreed. And this one, too much heat on it. Cam Lyon. Back to Tarlett. Pushy from Tom. To Timocles. He looks back to Tom.
I mean, the audacity from Tom Tillett.
That was a pushy and a half, wasn't it? So Tom looks to the dump. Another pushy. Tom looks to go back. And now one sits up over the top. And Lucien eventually gets it. Loosh. That's not the team booing. That's the way that they get around Lucien. Loosh.
Lucien Lou will come back to it as a Huck is going to sit and hang. McDonald's gone front.
Wow.
Oh, and then he's murdered Sam Jacobs. That is murder of the first degree.
Yeah, I don't think Mac is staying on Sammy's Christmas card, my mate. Make it easy. Excellent grab from Macca.
Oh, you read it the best. I thought it was going to hang, and
yeah.
He just inch perfect.
Another one, and Aussie goes, not on it from Tom. Instead, throws to Timocles. And another team!
Sebastian Barr has just got a layout block.
He's in on it. Sebo's feeling it. So the old boys from Haas, the old dogs. Gets a nice swing out. Sam Jacobs, he looks break, and that's Tommy, and that's the goal, and the airplane's out, and he's running around, he's feeling good. He's cooking up the hot pot. So good play all around, both teams. Getting Ds, getting turns. But ultimately, Dan, we are still, after all that, 9 points in now on serve.
Yeah, with nothing between them. I have never seen Sebastian Barr lay out. I have never seen Sebastian Barr get a layout block.
Well,
some great play.
The old boys between Barr and McDonald showing these boys how it's done.
Just noticed that Barr has actually lost the hat and he's got a bit of the silver fox look going on. He's looking very distinguished.
He'd take that.
Very distinguished indeed. Let's come back to Lucien Lou.
He's having a good game, isn't he?
Where did you find him? Where did Heads of State find this bloke?
Well, we made another exception to our no New Zealanders policy and let another one in. Personally, I railed against it. But he's doing all right. He's proving me not wrong, because I'm never wrong, but he's certainly put in a good weekend. So him and Dan Cullen are our resident Kiwis. I don't think we want more than two, but yeah, so far, if we can get more like him, I think we'd change the policy. So he's actually had an excellent tournament. Yeah, it does come from New Zealand, and we're very happy to have him.
Is he living in Australia now?
Yeah, pretty sure he is. He's Melbourne.
Speaking of Kiwis, Dan Cullen obviously is Kiwi as well, but lives in Australia nowadays.
Yes. I think we'd almost call him, Russell Crowe style, dual citizen. As the pool goes up, and this is another one. That's the difference between the two pools. You see that one curling in, staying in. Yeah, now Heads of State are down on the first pass, able to put it in the corner.
Lachlan Wise just using a little bit more edge.
Angle, yeah.
A little bit more outside in to get the frisbee to come down in bounds.
Lounen does well to grab that one. Quick reflexes. Goes to Bobo. Bobo to Cuppers. He's right at the back. So Tullett. Bit of shake and bake on Sammy. Now Ellipsis being very patient, but also not really advancing the disc too far forward. I'd say they're right near the back line.
And if there is one criticism to have, well, let's not worry about it.
Paole does an excellent job, and Rob Andrew just a bit sore. Now chasing Locko Wise. Locko fakes the flick. Goes with the lefty backhand break. McDonald with the disc. Carlett goes up the line. Now inside to Loco.
Stay high!
Stack is absolutely dead still. So it's just Loco and Lachlan show at the moment. Carlip looks to get in it, can't get free. Macca does throw the break now. And there's a call. Yeah, I think there was a foul on the throw.
Yeah, Palais, big body.
Big body, a lot of man.
He's not going to let Carlip just have a free inside throw like that. You're going to have to earn it and wear one.
Yeah, and he's the size
At
that
the
you know
minimum.
about it. You know, it's not a little brush. It was at a Mozzie bite or something. So there is a little bit of discussion. So maybe Palais not entirely convinced. So a real test for Heads of State here as to whether they can hold their composure.
Yep. And composure is not a scuba.
Probably answers my question. Putting it down Jake Lownden's throat, who gets it going straight away. He's going to be bringing it in. And Tom. It's a nice, big, wide step out to Rob Andrew. Rob Andrew, they're spotting Palais out on this home wing here. So bottom of your screen, 68. I reckon that's going to be the one they hit. That was the one they hit when they were back in, although now Palais comes under.
Well, they're really running out of options. They're working so deep in their own end zone.
They're not too phased by it, though. There doesn't seem to be a lot of stress. They're happy to catch it. Like, Tom's literally in the back corner of the field right now, throwing push passes. Like, he doesn't seem very phased by it. And I think after about 15 passes, they have almost moved it out of their end zone. No, we're back in. So excellent pressure from Heads of State. Good, nice composure from Ellipsis. And here comes that another sidearm. This time it's to Pete Ely. And they look like they might be out here. Pete's gone. Lachlan chasing. And Heads of State have to work out what they're doing now because Ellipsis have the numbers advantage. Rob Andrew. And they've collapsed into a matched offense. Matched defense, sorry. Rob Andrew to Loudon. And it holds. He looks upstairs, doesn't like it. Step around backhand, that's a goal. Cupcake catches the goal. So incredible patience from Ellipsis to say, look, we're going to take 20, probably 30 more throws in our end zone because we know when the right opportunity presents. And both times it was that kind of sidearm, very bladey flick. But two targets, either Palais or Peely, who have both had, played a bit of frisbee in their time to be able to read it, and then they were out. So
yeah, a throw more commonly associated with indoor. It's a very good indoor throw where there is no wind. Here, where it's very windy, apparently it's still a good throw. Or maybe it's just the skill level.
Well, they're 2 from 2. I mean, it wasn't. Palais caught that one. The turn came after.
And before I was going to level some criticism towards Ellipsis, but that was immediately before the Tom Toulette blade.
Well, that's what you were going to say they should have done.
Well,
that's
what I was going to say is that Ellipsis are really struggling to have some sort of coherent plan. And like, if you don't have a plan, then you end up in your own corner of your end zone.
Yeah. But they thought it through, worked through it. Good sidearms to Palais and Peely, and we remain on serve. I think importantly also, Dan, it was towards that upwind side. So it is on serve, but you'd say if it was double game point, which end would you want to be starting from? You'd want to be starting from the right of screen where Ellipsis are now. There is a slight advantage that way. So let's see if Ellipsis can exert the same kind of pressure as Heads of State's defense did.
Very tight game. What we came to see for the final. Well, Waller, he's going to throw with some nice edge, and that one won't go past bar. Ellipsis are going to use their own match defense.
Go DC! Go DC! Keep stretching, DC! Around! Around! Feel!
So far, the offense has been good for Juggernaut.
That one's going to sit up a little bit, bobbled a little bit.
And as I say that, I jinx them.
Thanks very much for that, Dan. Appreciate that. To McLeese, to Waller, to Lyon. And Tommy Della goes down. Foul called.
He's punched him in the head! Mark Isherwood has punched him in the head!
Here we go, Lee. Hey, no pressure, no pressure!
It's just the final, no pressure!
To McLeese. Oh, a miscommunication, unfortunately, on the dump.
Della wants it fast. Oh, he's thrown it away. Is that part of the plan?
I don't think I'm the person to ask right now. I'm just going to need to take one moment.
Okay.
I'm trying to be a commentator first and a teammate second, but...
I might need to take over solo for a moment. Matthew Hunter's going to have to do something superhuman.
If they're going to do it, Heads of State are going to have to do it the whole length of the field, unlike being pretty much in their red zone like they were about 45 seconds ago.
Well,
so
game one, day one, we were talking about the precision advantage, and here you have to turn it over. Well, a deep shot to Matthews Hunter isn't the worst of all the options.
Yeah. Excellent gainer. So Tom this time puts one a little flatter, and this one. So that's two now. They've been unable to connect between Philip and Tom. Ellipsis offering Tommy a glove because it might help, as we see deep shot not on it. Instead, looking at the dump. Matthews Hunter goes to Chris Waller. Chris Waller not a little bit of a little bit static in the stack, and so we've seen Ellipsis' second time out and second time out in play. And we know what happened after the first one. I called it, I think.
I think Juggernaut is in their own head at the moment. They've got them right where they want them.
That's correct. That's the way they put it. As we see this disc bobble up, Cullen got a hand on it. Tim McLeese in the right space, right time. A little bit of body from Rimo as well. Foul call. And then the miscommunication between, I think it was Waller and Tim McLeese. Interesting call from Tommy. Saw a 2-on-1 when he put that. And that one probably just not enough air. Five all on serve, however, Ellipsis with the advantage given they have the disc.
And an opportunity to break, potentially.
So in terms of lists, Dan, obviously I'm quite familiar with Juggernauts, but how far off full strength are Ellipsis this year? Are there any players not playing? I can see Max Halden here but not playing. Wes Flavel here not playing. Are there any other players that they've got coming into their roster?
I would say it's approximately the distance between Sydney and Melbourne. There are a lot of people missing.
Right. Give me a flavour.
Well, their team list was announced, so I'm just going to go off that. They've got two imports from New Zealand that are missing. John McNaughton from Queensland is missing.
Really? Okay.
Numerous injuries as well, so a lot of strength yet to come for Ellipsis in the pre-game. That's why I mentioned that maybe this is an opportunity for Juggernaut to get one over Ellipsis while they are not at full strength.
And almost another turn on the first throw post timeout. Would have been two this half. So Cam Lyon. Oh, bid. Nice switch run by the Heads of State of the defence. To McLeese, winds up the big backhand, decides thinks better of it. Matthews Hunter comes back, cycles the disc. One sits up a little bit, Waller's all over it. Waller collects, fakes the flick, looks inside, goes now with the flick, and a drop from Tim McLeese. That one's coming in hot. And Seb this time throwing flat. And Heads of State maintain their offense. A couple of turns.
Through the hands of Sebastian Barr goes the offense to take us to 6-5 and what feels like a point that lasted a very, very long time. The assist there again by Barr to Jacobs, who always had position on Waller, so he definitely the favourite to catch that one. We're going to see this Juggernaut defence again. Their zone has been stifling.
Yep.
And I imagine that if it was against any other team that didn't have throwers of the calibre of, say, Toulet, it would have
They're going to have
a different
tough day.
story.
Yeah, Tommy's been the difference so far.
At times those blades, when they were completed, it really broke Ellipsis out of the
Opened whole
stranglehold.
field. Yeah.
And they made big time meters off both of them.
And it'll be once again Wise with the pull. Let's see if he continues going with a bit more of that blade that's angling it down. Still making plenty of ground. It's still landing in the end zone. And he does.
And if we're... Oh, Bissett has made an absolute meal of it. Toulet. Back to Bissett. Looks to pass it to Daly. And then Andrews, also working within the cup. Tom Toulet. Back to Andrews. To Lollman. Bissett. He's in trouble. Oh, what a nice throw by Bissett. Breaking the mark of the much bigger man. Looks like Caleb Liu was actually guarding him. Andrews. Andrews again. Confident. Competent. Oh, that's not the throw. It's, oh, Andrews has flown and nearly got it. Daly's gone fast. Lofton goes out and it's dropped. Oh, just trying to push their advantage there a little bit too much. Lachlan Wise will pick it up. Inside break to Caleb Liu, who's been quiet. Wilson, it clonks off the hands. Ely goes fast to Daly. Daly with a laser breaking it. Paulet's going to reach. He's going to send it to Andrews, who looks like he's got it. The Juggernaut defense can't do enough. They got the turn, but they were wasteful with it. So Ellipsis, they score, take it to 6-all. Come back. That beautiful break throw. Set. The throw that popped up. Andrews climbing high and just hung agonizingly out of reach. And then, yeah, just a throw from Ollie Lovnan. Andrews all alone in the end zone. We have lost Andrew Moroney, and you actually can see him on screen at the moment in the 23 jersey. He's standing up there to watch Ellipsis' offsides. Was, get out of it. Stop being so sweaty. Andrews provides an outside pull, outside in pull. Astrigano receives the pass from Barr, and then Jacobs will go to work. Della. Della, backhand. It's horrendous. It's in the car park. Okay, not quite the car park, a little bit of hyperbole on my behalf. Tom Della very streaky today. They were onside on that one?
They were onside on that one, yeah. They've just been a little cheeky, nothing untoward, but just most of the time it's just about them knowing that you're there. And if you can hear the wind in our microphones, that's not artificial. It is starting to kick up and will be a factor in the match as you watch. Great grab from Peely off a laser from Tommy. And another good grab from Timocles. He then looks out wide. Rob Andrew looks the flick, throws it down the line flick, but doesn't connect. Not sure what happened there. It looked like it was a pretty accurate throw. Bar picks up, goes the around flick. Nice high one, but taken high by Sam Jacobs. Has the open look to Seb. And Dan Cullen does well to keep it in. Phillip, back, good go, can't come off. And so now a real chance for Ellipsis. This is probably the best part, best position they've had in terms of field positioning.
And Phillip, the young man, the rookie, probably a rookie mistake.
He'll be better
just
for
wanting
it,
to get rid of the disc.
And Howard marked by McDonald, another good matchup. Phillip on Andrew. Really able to push it through and pressure that sideline. Osmond has to go back to Bobo. Bobo then to Tom Tullett. Tom swings it wide. Inside, coming in hot. Aussie does well to keep it in. Nice bid from Tony. Looks a little sore. He's okay. And that's a break for Ellipsis, 7-6. They get the downwind break.
Well, it's definitely a game of missed chances at the moment.
Yeah, and I think if you think about that from a forward-facing perspective rather than what's come, I think the message to both teams will be that anything can happen. You know, it's not one of those games where you kind of hit 12 all and there's been like one turnover. It is a little scrappy. Also, I think both teams are playing really good defense, so that's causing turns. But that'll be the message to say, look, even if you go down 2 or 3 breaks, we're seeing, you know, each team is seeing the disc 2 or 3 times in a point. So that would be the message I'd say going into the second half.
Well, the halftime team talks for both sides, kindly provided by Andy Maroney.
You're welcome.
So it's done.
And so, Dan, as we start now to bring our gaze forward to nationals, what are you seeing on the wider scene, not just within Victoria, but other regions? Who are the teams to beat? Who are the ones to watch?
I think Sunder, Slice and Dice, as always, very strong. They will be there late on day 4 of nationals.
Are they're sending a team to Worlds again, I'm guessing?
I believe so.
Is that how they've split as well?
I think that they will combine
right.
their 2 teams into one.
Yep.
Mammoth, a little bit of a dark horse. We haven't seen them for a couple of years, so maybe they've continued to go to the gym and
whatever they've been doing up there.
get massive.
Maybe
not, though.
Are Sublime going to be let in? Are we? I mean,
wow. I don't know what Mark McGowan's plans are. And that pull is no good.
And a brick. I'm not sure who pulled it. Guessing it was Powley. Ben Powley? No.
I would.
Let's just call it Powley. Yeah. May have been Timocles, probably Powley.
If I had to pick a top 5 straight away, it would be Sunder Slice, Sunder Dice, Juggernaut, Ellipsis, and potentially Mammoth. Maybe I-Beam in the mix.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Bar breaks under to McDonald. McDonald, wide backhand out to Jacobs. Jacobs engages Cullen. Nice inside flick.
That is a late Sammy.
Pick. Not affecting the up the line, so Cullen will keep it. Cullen looks for the low backhand, now engages the dump. He's going to have to engage another dump. Engages a third dump, which works. Tom Della. He throws, and this time it is a completion. He's done it. It's been a bit of a dry spell for our man Della.
What feels like forever.
He's just happy to complete one.
His last 3 throws have all been turnovers, and now he throws the assist he's been looking for the entire half. Nice throw to space, controlled.
Agreed.
High release. In the wind, hard to do.
And so, and you can NFT this. We are taking this to the NFT market. You can NFT Galaxy Point. You can NFT that term. Own it exclusively through Ulti TV. Just get on Patreon. Because it's 7-all. Half at 8.
Interestingly, it's 62 minutes gone. That's not the fastest paced game we've seen. A lot of turnovers.
Yeah. Some
Hard
longer
points.
And I think Juggernaut have burned a timeout here, more a strategic one than anything, because they get 3 timeouts a game, but you can only use 2.5. So if they weren't to use that timeout, they'd lose it. Gives their defense an opportunity to G up.
And it's a common mistake often made by teams that they don't call the timeout. They may as well, it's hot.
Unless there's something like you've got the momentum and you've got the advantage and you're rolling. Sit, have a chat, give the leadership exactly as both teams are doing now. Their leadership sitting, having a chat, talking about, okay, what defense are we going to look at? What personnel are we going to look at?
What adjustments do we need to make?
Yep.
Big moment to potentially take half.
Big point. Huge point in the game. As Seb lobs a goal from 50, and that's in the car park. And unfortunately, is that my car? Unfortunately, he hit my car.
Is that a broken windshield?
He's definitely picked you out there, Moz. You've been stitched up, mate.
Trust me, Seb Barr's not that accurate a kick. If it was with a frisbee, he could hit my car, but I reckon that would have been by complete accident. I won't be impressed if he's hit it.
It's a dirty, great big ball dent in your bonnet now.
And I think Gummy's lift home too, so I think we all might be in a bit of strife. Anyway. If you are in Bendigo and own a panel beater shop, I might be in touch. As we have Heads of State on screen, talking through the tactics, G'ing up, no doubt talking some absolute nonsense. And we might just try and talk over the language so we don't hear it. Apologies if you pick it up. I think the PG translation is we're very excited. We would like to win this game. The way we win the game is by scoring more points than the other team.
And being very excited.
And being very excited. But in order to do that, we're going to need to take the frisbee off them and then score with that same frisbee. So, and they are calling a line now as well.
And probably stick to the system.
Stick to the system. What is the system, you might ask? Good question. We're not sure. But we know that there is one.
I think the first rule of the system is you don't talk about the system.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh dear. I must say our humour hasn't improved over the last 2 days, Andy.
No. I would say about Declan Frey, there's something about Declan, he'd fit into a cult. I actually think he'd be an alright cult leader. Just seeing the way he goes on talking about the system is different.
Certainly charisma there.
Yeah, a unique, not your traditional charisma.
What would it be a cult of?
It would involve...
Would it be like one of those religious cults? Or?
Yeah, I think it would have certainly a dogmatic element to it because of all the shouting. I think it would also have, if it was a frisbee cult, it would have no warm-ups. and a lot of post-game beers. As you see,
Well, if that's the case, he probably should go talk to Geelong Mudlarks.
yeah,
He might have some converts.
as you see, Tulloch picks the gap to Andrew. Nice shot through the middle. Matthews, Hunter. Mackie manages to close Tom up the line. Lounen getting the better of Castrigano. They are in their red zone. They're up right against the sideline. Look to get the dump off. He does so well. Rob Andrew inside to Ben Pole. Ben holds it. Looks the flick. Goes the under inside. And that, I think, is a goal. And that is the half. Advantage Ellipsis in this men's final. 8-7.
Yeah, Ben Pale just undoing the Velcro there with a little bit of sass.
Oh,
a little pizzazz.
Yeah.
The Velcro on the throwing gloves.
Yeah, so you see TCAS look to help on DMH, on Dan Matthews Hunter in the lane, which just gave enough separation for Ben to put in the low break flick.
Well, 8-7 the score. Ellipsis up by 1.
And they will be coming out on offense, so one break advantage, but as we've seen in this game, multiple turns, multiple breaks. If we get a half, it's as good, a second half as good as the first, I think we'll be pretty happy.
And with both teams building into a national championship, a hard, close game.
Oh, mate,
They're worth their weight in gold.
it's exactly what they, I heard on the sideline, an Ellipsis player say to a Hoss player, we've got a good game here, and that's exactly what we have, and that's the point. All teams who have made the semis qualify for nationals. So we've had our 4 teams for Div 1 nationals confirmed. So Heads of State and Ellipsis both go into the show. Now it's really about development as well as seeding. Whoever wins this game will take the top seed nationally. I'm not sure who gets where the second seed in the south is placed. It'll be around 5th.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, UltimateTV, the best in the world.
Become a member
and fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Oh, Bach!
elevation.
No one swear in the background. Can I swear in the
Oh, you lost about 3 seconds. One instruction, don't swear. Save it, and it would be sentence. Could have approved by the play for Hawks, everyone. We wanted to hear him fuck it up. No damage. No damage. It wasn't. A few things picked up on top.
Sucking the big ones in, boys. About the shit. Someone dock with Della.
The system always wins.
Jugger, let's go!
Let's go, Jugger! Come on, boys!
Well, the team's just breaking down now and seeing if they can get the finishing touches on their adjustments for the halftime. 8-7, Ellipsis in front, but it's anyone's game at the moment. Been back and forth, quite the battle. The fatigue, the weather, it all playing a part, and both these teams also very evenly matched. And it's combined to provide a delicious game of Ultimate this afternoon.
And I think one that will turn into become very quickly a flurrying crescendo. We're at time cap, so we are going to play this and add one to the highest score. So we'll either be playing, 9-7, game to 10, or 8-all, game to 9.
Which wouldn't that be great, just to go straight into Universe Point?
I know.
You couldn't ask for a better end.
Time cap going during half. Was at 70 minutes.
A flurrying crescendo.
You like that? Yeah.
I did enjoy it quite a bit. Almost as much as your degustation of Ultimate yesterday.
Was that today or yesterday?
It's all blended together.
Was, yeah.
Don't ask me the score. Don't ask me who played when.
Yes, you've done very well, Dan, yourself as well as Rexy for Ulti.tv. Just a reminder about the team's Patreon. If you do enjoy what we brought to you this weekend, you too could support us and also get access to a range of perks, including picking what game that we're going to cover. So if you are a supporter of any of the teams that you've seen either this weekend or heading into either Div 1 or Div 2 Nats, both are tournaments that Ulti.tv will be bringing. It'd be great to get your support, so hit up the team's Patreon page today. How was that? Was that all right?
That's an excellent plug, Andy. I think that you have well and truly taken my job when it comes to the ad reads.
Yeah, okay.
Loco wise to pull for Juggernaut. A big looping outside in as he's gone with all day.
This is tricky. Credit to Tom Bissett. He's taken a few of them today. Better man than I.
Tripped over one earlier, but he dealt with that one with aplomb.
Moves it. Ollie Launen. Now a lot of players around the disc, very, very tight. Almost 13 players within about 20 metres. So everyone drops back now with Bobo at the disc. Rob Andrew moves it over to Cupcake, and there's been a call. Half the team has stopped. And Ben Powley striking a very interesting pose. A bit of paint me like one of your French girls about.
I was about to say, he looks like one of those French girls.
Thought it was pretty good, but there was a call well before, so not sure what it was. It was back on Rob Andrews, so it must have been
the recently engaged Ben Powley.
Well, with lovely poses like that, I can see why. Tom fakes the throw to go again, instead opts to push it wide, and now Launen with the disc. Launen to Rob Andrew. Rob Andrew wants to go wide instead. Nice, patient Tom Bissett. Now it's Dan Matthews-Hunter. So a little bit of flow here for Ellipsis.
And it's contained well by Juggernaut. This has really been the story of this zone defence.
And that's the throw once again. That's the third time we've seen a sidearm from Tom that gets the team out of, well, not out of trouble, but just helps advance it out of that very uncomfortable zone. And now Tom's on his bike, looks to Powley. Powley to Rob Andrew. Rob Andrew, nice big wide step out, and just over the top of Ely, but no, out the back.
Yeah, Ely had to go early there, and it's just gone too high. And it looked to be a regulation routine kind of throw.
Yeah.
That the wind has had other ideas about. Just popped up at an inconvenient time to add a bit of added interest.
So
Della.
Barr sends it to Della. Looks a big sidearm to Dylan Taylor, who goes back to Tom Della. We've got a game to 9. It's 8-all, game to 9. Tom Della has the aeroplane out again, and we've got the finish that we want to this final.
Well, what an end to this game. What an end to this tournament. Maroney has again abandoned me. He's spent half the time on the field, half the time in the commentary box. He's out there sorting out what they're going to do. Colfer, coach of Ellipsis, is involved. There's a handshake. Maroney will have the goss here shortly as he returns. What's the insight?
I don't know if there are people that are fans of the F1, but we had a very controversial finish in Abu Dhabi, and I feel like we are seeing the Frisbee equivalent here. For those who pick up on the mic, time cap just went. However, we'd been playing to the understanding that it was a 70-minute game. So confusion reigned for a minute. However, Cole Fink and Tony from the respective teams had agreed that it was a 70-minute game. So rather than treating that as time cap, we are in universe point.
Okay.
Controversial.
But Ultimate is one of those great games where if it's agreed upon, it's agreed upon.
Yep.
And a binding agreement.
A binding agreement. In a court like this, and it might go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Depending on what happens here today, you could see no,
there could be appeals.
Both
a protest.
Both teams straight away, like, whoops. Well, you know, we thought we were playing 70, and yeah, we must have been playing 80. It's just gone 80 minutes now. So the good thing was both teams, there's an understanding.
And I almost think that game to 9 is almost a fitting end.
Exactly. Yep. Representative of both how close this has been, as well as some pretty long points. I don't know the last time we've had a Div 1 final or a regionals final that doesn't get to double digits.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen here today. Next goal wins Unifor's point. This is what it's all been for, and is the games we love to see.
And I might have to disappear, unfortunately, for a minute. I don't think my team will be impressed if I'm not on the sideline. So good luck, Dan. I might chat to you after.
Thank you, Andy Maroney. Lachlan Wise is going to have to go inside out. This ball is going to hang in the air. It's coming over to us. Oh, I'm going to take my feet to finish this up. And the heads of state club very loud. Representatives from all three males teams and the women's team. So Launen will go to the middle. A horizontal for Ellipsis. Launen looks for Bissett. Ely gets free. Launen gets it back. A 1-2. Powley. Powley's going to put it in space for Lofton. Toulette. Daly. Had a great tournament, has Daly. Toulette. Ely. And now Launen. Down the cram hole they go. You imagine he's looking for one out to Andrews. Ellipsis are the champions. They win the Victorian Ultimate Championships for 2022 in a hard-fought match against the Melbourne Juggernaut. They reign supreme. The defending champions have some more silverware for their trophy cabinet. And what a great game that was. A fitting end, I would say. And that will wrap up our coverage of the tournament here this weekend. My name's Daniel Clinton. It's been a pleasure bringing this to you on behalf of the production crew, Rex Johnson and Ulti TV. We look forward to seeing you next weekend for Eastern Regionals. We'll be back there as well. I'm a little bit lost for words. It was a good end. I don't want to go home. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Ulti.tv